Hi, everybody. Welcome to Andrew, this wonderful, beautiful jazz musician, and who I'm very thankful is here with us today. That he's here with us. Period.
Oh, so, I think I have the sound on your.
You think you have what?
I had the sound on your stream. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Do you have earbuds plugged in, or are you just listening to it there? Oh, he's going to play for us. Yay.
Cherry. All right, happy birthday, girl.
Thank you. It's not every day you get a musician to play you a live birthday song. I appreciate it. This is my friend Andrew D'Angelo, who is a Grammy-nominated musician, has played with many famous musicians, plays the saxophone, the baritone sax or the alto sax?
That's an alto.
It's an alto sax, okay. Yeah. And you also play the bass clarinet, right?
Bass clarinet, yeah, wow. You did your research. Thank you.
I did. My son's first instrument my son played was a bass clarinet. In 5th grade, the instrument was bigger than he was.
Wow.
His teacher had to order a special neck strap so he could keep it up off the ground. Otherwise, it would just sit on the ground when he played. And it was huge.
I just learned how to hold it without a neck strap, or this bass clarinet. But now with my teeth, I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's
background here.
But see, you're in Germany though, so you get better health care than we do.
I don't know what that means.
It means we have crappy health care in the States that cost a fortune.
Oh, right.
If you're lucky enough, you might have to like beggar yourself and sell your house and your cars and your 401k just to go through treatments or something, Andrew has had a rough year, 2 years, 1 year. When did we meet?
I mean, all the treatment has been since January this year. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Yes, say hello.
Do you know which saxophone it is on it? That's the question. It's not a baritone. It's not a tenor. It's an alto.
It's an alto.
Probably couldn't see it when I was playing, but anyway.
Now, see, I used to be able to sing alto kind of, sort of, back before all the neck surgery and all that crap, but then my vocal cords got damaged in the surgery, so now it sounds like I talk through a gravel pit, Oh, well.
I don't even notice your
They did a good job of kind of cutting it right in the fold of.
And I don't even know what you would call it. I don't really notice it. So.
Yeah, most people don't. I mean, from the minute I could take the bandages off, I started putting coconut butter on it.
Right.
And that heals really fast, leaves you with fewer scars.
Yeah.
According to my mother and several of my great aunts. So that's what we did.
I mean, they wouldn't let me do it on my head because it's something about the way, as I mentioned, I think we were backstage, but I do have a plate right here.
Yeah.
Right here. And so they wouldn't let me put any lotion or anything on it. It had to just heal naturally because apparently the plate and my brain and the skull and everything starts to move around. Worm skull. It moves around, and so they're like, just leave it, let it do its thing. And because it's my 3rd brain surgery, they say it could take probably a year before my head actually heals. So that's kind of interesting.
It just takes time, but yeah, I told you back then you were going to be okay.
Yeah,
you just had to do what you need to do.
I did a reading with Sherry, which was a blast, by the way. And
Thank you.
it's amazing. And I of course I asked, oh, what's going to happen? I hadn't had brain surgery. I don't think I had even had an MRI.
You were waiting to go in.
Right. Which took.
And didn't know what was wrong. Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, you're in Europe. The healthcare system is so much better. Yeah. I mean, I would say from a insurance aspect, is this working for everybody? My crazy. I don't know.
You look great.
I'm not so far away. I'm like this close. I'm just like a hand, and I'm so far away.
Different cameras. I have a new camera that my brother gave me. That's like a really expensive webcam, and it's like suddenly I'm close up, and it's like I keep trying to reset the parameters so that.
I like it. You look good.
But when I sit back this far, I can't see anything on the screen, so I have to pull up, and I'm like this on the desk most of the time because I'm trying to read what they put in the chat because I can't read it even with my glasses on. So,
Right. Oh, that's cool. Deanne, DFL rocks. How do you know you rock, Deanne?
Yeah, she rocks.
Yeah, I know. You rock.
She's been around for a while. She rocks. Second at state in choir solo. Oh, awesome.
That's, what's weird? And I'd love to hear what people think. It doesn't seem like they are, they being whatever, parents, schools, don't seem to be encouraging people to play acoustic instruments as much as they used to. That's my opinion. But
most schools in the States now don't even have music programs anymore.
Right.
They've been cut. They don't have, I love Native American flute.
Yeah, me too.
I go to sleep to that a lot of times.
I'm in the
videos.
I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I grew up in Seattle, so that was kind of like my film score to my childhood was like Native American. I would go to as dumb as it was, because it was for the white people, they would do these ceremonies and white people would stand around and watch them, but the music was, whoa, so cool.
Yeah, the music's fantastic. Yeah. And I was actually got an invitation to participate in some kind of a big like meeting of the clans, since I'm part Cherokee, to come and like have like a booth or whatever to sell your wares or try not to highlight everybody. Right. But unfortunately it's at a time that I just can't get away and travel all the way up north to go to it. I would love to. I thanked him. I said, well, maybe next year I can plan ahead. I know it's coming, but it's like all different tribes around the country that all come together for like a big powwow type thing, and they all highlight the differences and the similarities of the tribes, and then they invite people to come and have booths and stuff to.
Right. For me, it's just, as somebody who had at least one pretty good Native American friend, it's hard as a child. So this would have been in the 70s and 80s kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's hard to imagine what we're getting, we being those of us in the modern world, when the Native Americans show us some kind of ritual or tribal dance or whatever they're doing. Yeah. But we're getting really what was going on at the time. At least that's how my friends would say, like, this is not the way it was. So I have no idea because I wasn't there.
Yeah, well, and a lot of tribes just to survive had to kind of Hollywoodize their rituals and whatnot, so it would draw in white people to come and watch and pay money, and so that all that stuff that they don't actually really do. That's not how their true ceremonies operate, when I was, but they do that because that draws in the crowds, that brings in the money, and they can eat over the winter. Because unfortunately, our lovely country, stuck them all on reservations in the worst portions of land possible to try to make a living off of, so
it was
saying it's a shame they didn't put them on top of a big oil reserve.
At least in this Seattle area, they just basically built, they being Native Americans, just built a bunch of casinos because they're self-governed. But like,
Yeah, that was personally, I thought that was a smart move on their part. It was like, yeah, they're going to get theirs back now. They're taking all our money.
I take all the stupid people going to a casino to make money.
Yeah, I
you.
used to live literally 3 blocks away from a casino, Arizona. There in just outside of Phoenix, because where I lived, it was like the reservation, the highway, and then Scottsdale, which is just out one of the suburbs of Phoenix. And so I was literally, I could walk 2 blocks and be on the reservation. And they had their big casino was there, and they had another one further inland to the reservation that I would go to every now and again to play bingo, just for something to do. I never won anything, but go ahead.
No, basically, when I walk into a casino, I might as well just like take out my wallet and start passing the money out to the casino because I cannot win at anything.
Yeah, I hear you. I bring, after my first visit to a casino, I learned I bring $20 with me. I left my cards at home. I left my wallet the only thing I kept was my ID and a $20 bill. And I went in, and when that was spent, I was done.
Ooh, you're smart, but see, some people come. Some people don't do that. Okay, I'm having dual conversations in the chat with you.
Welcome to my world.
So
I do that all the time. So yeah.
Can I address at least a couple of things?
Absolutely. Yeah, whatever you see, you can talk about it.
Deanne, DFL rocks. I don't know what DFL means. Music is spiritual and a download from the heavens. God and angels love hearing music. Well, yeah, who doesn't love hearing music? But yes, and I've done entire master classes on like where does music come from, and when you talk to university students, I mean, they have no idea. And if you start getting into the spiritual side of it, at least in one case in Norway, the administration, like the principal, they don't call it that in Norway, headmaster, whatever they call it, was like, you can't talk about that stuff here. Because they all go, in Norway at least, all go through confirmation, and they're all quote unquote Christians. Even if you don't want to be, you just kind of do it. It's just part of it. But I remember asking the students, where do you think music comes from? Like when you're improvising, specifically what I do, or composing, they're like, we don't know. I said, well, maybe it comes from like some kind of higher spiritual something. And I said something that pissed off the principal. And it's like, you can't say that. So there you go. I tried.
And it's like the first time I heard Native American flute music, my mother had bought a cassette tape back when cassettes were what everybody bought.
Hey, Deanne, are you sure
had popped it in a
Inca flute music, or are you talking Native American?
I'm not sure.
Curious, Deanne, if you're talking about because Inca, there's that Inca flute, like the pan flute thing, which
right. Now the ones I'm talking about are like the long wooden flutes that Native Americans play. Right. And I love the first time I heard that, my mother, like I said, had bought a cassette tape. She had gone to visit her sister in New Mexico, and on the way back they stopped. She and one of her aunts had driven out to go see them. We lived in Texas at the time. And on the way back, they stopped at one of the reservations just to go to like the gift shop, and see if there was anything they could buy.
Just like maybe get a hat or something, or a copy.
Yeah, and she bought a little white ceramic turtle about this big that had a Hopi blessing painted on the back of it.
Oh, cool.
And she bought that for my husband because his nickname was Turtle. And so, which started the purchasing of turtles within our lives at that point. Every holiday then, we all had to try to outdo each other with what kind of turtle are we going to find in this year. But she brought that, and she brought back a cassette tape of the local artists there that had made a tape and were selling it, of their music. And oh my God, the first time I heard it, it felt like it was familiar. is the best word I can put for it. It's like, oh, I know this. I know this. I mean, that's just how how strongly it hit me. And I love to listen to it. There's things on YouTube that's like 24-hour long videos that you can play of just the Native American flute music, and you can do the other kind of flutes, and there's Celtic music and all this. It's nice to help you sleep at night. I listen to that a lot.
Right. And maybe somebody in the chat can help as well as you, Sherry. My issue with those long form YouTube, listen to the shit while you go to sleep, is they're usually all MIDI. If anybody, in other words, they're fake instruments. They're not actually people playing.
Yeah, it's all computer generated.
This bothers me. And it's not even well done. It's just some half-assed MIDI version of spiritual music. And I've been doing my best to create music that people could chant to that's actually a real musicians doing it and creating it. If somebody wants to AI it, that's fine. So I'm working on a solo record.
That's cool. Oh, that's cool.
I'm feeling it's still going to be too avant-garde for people, but I don't care. My spirit guides.
So they're just not opened up in their brain.
Higher self are very aggressive and strange people, and I don't care.
Yeah, well, it's mine. My guides are Native Americans.
Right.
I saw the picture. It was in a calendar, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I very clearly heard, "We're your guides."
I mean,
I was like, okay.
My guides are Sherry, Helen, and Nate.
Oh, I was with Nate yesterday.
Nice. Oh yeah, I think
we do. We get together. Yeah, you did. That's how we started talking, and we were like, oh, you just got to come on and talk about all this stuff. So, because you were feeling better, you just wrapped up the radiation therapy. Then you get ready to go into the chemotherapy, which y'all, we need to send lots of healing energy to Andrew because that's rough. Radiation's bad enough. Chemo, I've heard, is worse.
Oh, thanks.
Why
are you talking like that?
And I've heard people say the opposite. So I guess it depends on the person and what
in my case, it's going to
type of cancer it is. Yeah.
Beautiful. If all my teeth fall out.
Well, then you just go buy some. You're like me. Just you put them in every day, and soak them in the jar at night. I mean,
yeah, but it's just I won't be able to play. I won't be able to have my profession.
If you had dentures?
Yes.
Why?
Because I can't play with it. Them in my mouth, they'll jump out and pop all over the place.
Maybe you could do implants.
Yeah,
that's when it's an individual, one tooth at a time, just like your
I appreciate you lecturing me about my mouth as a professional saxophonist.
No, I've been through so much crap with my mouth that it's like.
This is my third implant in the same tooth because it's failed 3 times because that's where my saxophone goes.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Goes.
See, I don't play an instrument, so I don't have that issue. I just had most of mine knocked out, and the few that were left started going bad, and they finally just said, "Yeah, we've taken them all out." So,
do you have the option to, like, when you're eating, do you have to take them out? Because I do.
No, I can't chew because it depends on what I'm eating. Some things I can get away with eating.
Yeah, with like soup.
If I'm eating ice cream or soup, I don't need teeth for that. But if it's anything that requires me to chew or bite, then I have to put them in. And then it's like one of my favorite foods is corn on the cob. And somebody said, how do you eat corn on the cob with dentures? It's like you have to learn to bite and not bite down.
There.
It's a skill, and it takes a while to figure out how to do it because normally if you're eating like an ear of corn, you're biting down. Just like you would with an apple, you're biting down into the cob. And when you have dentures, you have to learn to bite up and not use your top teeth to bite down with because they'll flip out or break. I've had my 2 front ones break off numerous times. That's what I said. I've super glued these things back together so many times. It's not even funny. I need a new set. I just can't afford it because they're expensive. And I figure out one day I'll get a new set, and then I won't be self-conscious about it. But they had gotten bad, really bad. And my son he's had a lot of issues with gum issues that have caused his teeth to start rotting away. And he doesn't have any insurance at all. So it's like, yeah, that's going to be fun to figure out how to pay for. So
they don't cover dental here. They only cover medical. So
they don't cover dental over here either unless you pay for it. And
also I tried to get private dental in Germany, but it said we do not allow for a pre-existing condition. So they wouldn't be able to help with my implant or any of that stuff. But
yeah,
I got a doctor next week, the oncologist for chemotherapy. Oh my God. I wish you hadn't said that chemo. It's going to go excellent for me. I'm going to be.
Yes, it is. It's going to be fine. You're going to be the opposite one.
Right. But people also have a hard time with radiation, and I had nothing except for unless my teeth are affected, which I don't know, but it sounds like they might be. So I will have to deal with that when the time comes. But what's going on with all the notifications?
Oh, that was my alarm telling me it's time to take my medicine. I'll take it after we're done. And
I gotta take mine too. Oh, geez.
And take my pain pills. I'm on a set schedule because I'm in pain management. I mean, I still take pain medication multiple times a day, every day, just so I can function, get up and walk around, because my lower back is now, I have 3 vertebrae with no discs left between them. It's all bone on bone. And, but I'm not doing surgery until there's just no other option left. It's like, as long as I can function
right
with a pain pill, then that's what I'll do. And so, but I'm very strict. I have an excellent pain management doctor. One of the first things he taught me way back in 1999 when I first met him was that the trick to be able to manage your pain and your pain medication responsibly is you figure out what times of the day are your peak
pain moments.
Times of pain moments, right?
When you're talking to a jazz musician is definitely one of them, right?
And then you figure out about 30 minutes before you're going to hit that peak.
Right. My God, they always
take medicine.
Take your pain medication before it shows up. I was like, how the fuck do I know when the pain shows up? Like, how
it's like with me, I took like 2 weeks and rigorously kept a journal and marked down what time it was every time I had pain peaks. And so once I did that, then I was able to look at it and go, okay, if I take a set amount of medicines first thing in the morning when I get up, and then I take another round at noon, because usually around noontime I start hurting. And then I take another round around 7 o'clock at night. And then I take a handful of other stuff just before I go to bed that helps me sleep. And, but the first thing I did was when they finally started making smartphones and whatnot, I set up alarms on my phone.
Right. I did that
to go up and let me know it's time to take my medicine, Yep. And, because sometimes I'll get busy and I'll forget, and then 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon hits me and I can't hardly move, and I'm like, God, what is wrong? And it's like, oh, I forgot my medicine today, because I have other medicines I take for other issues as well. But yeah, you can ask anybody. I'm very strict on myself with my pain medicine because I've seen far too many people not manage it smartly and then wind up getting, they kind of lose control of it, and it requires more and more and more and more to get the same effect. And that's how my pain management doctor explained it to me. He's like, you're not going to be pain free. He says the goal is to be pain manageable. That means you're still going to hurt. You can still function. You find what is your function level, and then you go from there. And so that's been a godsend for me, just because once I understood the concept of it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So it was like, I never don't hurt. I hurt all the time, but it's what's manageable and then what's not. I mean, I have some mornings I wake up, I literally crawl to the bathroom. I can't stand up because my back just like, nope, not today. We're not going to do it. So I walk with a cane now, because there are times when 2 steps and my back is like, yeah, no, we're done. And I hit the ground if I don't have that cane to hold me up. So it can be depressing if you think about it too hard, because you're like, damn, I am getting old now. I'm walking around with a freaking cane in my hand. But it is what it is. So it allows me to function. So I love your hat.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I don't think that's me in your shadow JPEG or image that you created, GIF. Right? Who is that? You just took some images off the net, or is that actually me? Because I think somebody's playing a sopranino there.
You sent me that picture.
No, not the photo of me. The shadow.
Oh.
The shadow figures in the bottom corners. There's one guy with his saxophone up in the air. Well, and this guy has.
Oh, that's just clip art that I got off of Canva.
I was like, that's not me. Okay, so I was right.
No, it was well, a couple of years ago, I did a couple of Mardi Gras thumbnails, and I went in and I had put in like Mardi Gras as a keyword, and I put in jazz musicians as a keyword, and so it generated all these pictures for me through AI. And I thought, oh, that's cool. So I saved them all. And then whenever it's appropriate, I pull them out and I plug them in. And that's one of the things I like about Canva, because I'm artistically challenged. I also don't draw or do artwork. But I can go on Canva and I can plug in those pictures where I want. And, sometimes I can manipulate some pictures to make them maybe turn another way or change the color of them, or just depends on what you need. But on what I'm needing. I mean, it's one of the things that I pay for via the memberships that people pay to be in the members, and super chats and whatnot that people do. That's every month I get that little bitty check from YouTube. You've earned this much this month, and that all gets socked away in a special account, and it pays for everything that I do on YouTube.
Great.
It pays for the StreamYard. It pays for Canva. It pays for Zoom. Now I have Zoom. It pays for a lot of things and I just do it annually. That way I don't have to worry about it every month. I just do a lump sum payment at the beginning of the year, and it's cheaper. You usually save some.
I'll let Berlin I'll let people look at Berlin out the window.
There you go.
It's
beautiful blue and white light coming in the window.
It's Berlin's version of Mardi Gras. It's called Carnival.
Oh yeah, okay.
If you can see it.
Yes.
And it is the most boring festival.
Well, they need to come to Louisiana for festival season, man, because we have festivals every damn weekend except during Lent. That's the only time we don't have festivals.
Right outside my window, which is funny. And everybody's like, oh, be careful during Carnival. It's so crazy. You guys have not been to Mardi Gras, because this is not crazy. Or Gay Pride, by the way, or New York Pride or Brooklyn Pride. I mean, this festival is like a bunch of Germans walking around drinking beer, which is what they do anyway. So I don't know how it's that big of a deal. Except
sounds like our area down here. It's just a bunch of people walking around drinking while they're walking around. It's normal, especially if you're in New Orleans, but that's like 2 hours east of me. We have the Mardi Gras we have here in our city has been deemed as being closer to the original kind of Mardi Gras that and of course they have big boucheries that they do leading up to Mardi Gras. That's that was the tradition of the men would go from farm to farm to farm in the community, and then they would have to catch the chicken or the pig or the whatever it is that they were going to kill to feed everybody. And so you got a lot of those contests kind of showed up, you know, chasing the chickens and trying to catch a greased pig and all that. And then they gather, you know, they get stuff from each farm and they all go into the town square.
Right.
Women all bring in all the veggies and everything, and they do massive cooking, barbecue style, you know, cooking pigs in a pit in the ground and whatnot. And and everybody eats,
right.
eat, drink, and be happy.
You had me on for me to listen to you talk about your pain meds and Mardi Gras, right?
There you go. And we're just waiting for you to tell us more about you. So I tend to start talking when it gets quiet, and then I don't shut up.
I'm not quiet.
You have to say, my turn.
I'm just okay. I'm just talking. I just don't want to be rude. I'm just talking in the chat. And first of all, is it Deanne or Dina? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I apologize. Not trying to be rude to you either.
It looks like Deanne.
I mean, that's.
But it could be Dina. I'm not sure. I saw that you can. I don't know if you have it on your computer, Andrew. If you look off to the side of the chat, there should be a little tab that says private chat. And you can click on it. Deanne sent you a link. And you can go, so it's like, you can go open it now, or you can go open it after the show.
A link to what?
If you click on the private chat tab, it'll open up another chat window.
Okay.
And
on the YouTube?
Or StreamYard. It's on the StreamYard where we're at right now.
No, that's my link. That's not hers.
Oh, that's your link. Okay. I thought she was sending it to you. Okay. I got you. Oh, that's your album for Spotify. Okay.
Not my album. It's my nephew's album. His country.
Your nephew's album.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I can't play it on air, but I will definitely be listening to it after we're done and playing it then. So.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love for you to play it on there. He's not like that.
Yeah, I just have to make sure it passes. To do it, I would have to get permission from him, and I would have to do it on a non-monetized video.
Right.
I couldn't monetize the video because YouTube, they're getting funny.
Somebody's asking Andrew or Sherry. I sense a message is trying to come through Andrew. I'd like to hear it.
What message do you have, Andrew?
Well, I'm just curious, and I'm getting a lot of musical things, which is awesome. I'm just curious if anybody else here is either going through cancer or has a family member going through cancer or anything like that, whatever you want to call it. And if you have any questions, I just went through, although Sherry explained it a little bit, I just went through 6 weeks of radiotherapy, 5 days a week. So basically 2 months I had a couple of holidays, Easter, Good Friday, that kind of thing I had off. And then in January, I had my third brain surgery. The other two were in 2008. And I didn't do anything then. I just had the two brain surgeries. They got it out. They said I was okay. And I did everything you can imagine. I was putting frankincense oil on my pineal gland. I was wearing biophoton clothing. I was doing ozone therapy. I was taking I was up to like 33 supplements a day. Not
wow.
But like separately all day. I was eating vegan, keto. Then I went carnivore, and then I went raw food, and then I was like on another diet. But it's like I tried all of that last time without radiation and chemo. So this time I'm trying it, and other than the fact that all of my teeth could maybe fall out, which I hope doesn't happen, and yes, that will greatly affect my music, my saxophone playing, not my music, but my saxophone plays. Oh, the Jazz Fest. Yeah, I played that Jazz Fest in New Orleans.
Cool. Yeah, we have, I know here in Lafayette, we have every year the International Festival de Accordions. which is musicians from around the world that come and play for like a week-long festival.
Right.
That's always fun. And we have festivals literally every weekend of the year in the state somewhere, except during Lent. That's the only time they don't do festivals, is during Lent. And because those are holy days, I guess. It's predominantly Catholic down here as well.
I mean, I was just going to say that cancer is a really fucking lonely disease. And it's very difficult when your friends or family, nobody calls you or texts you or comes over, which is kind of the case with me. So it's been an interesting process of healing, because all my friends are like, you're doing fine, Andrew. I was like, yeah, but you don't understand. It's like sometimes I sit in my house for like, I don't know, 10 hours, just like, what the fuck am I going to do with my life now? You know,
Yeah.
It's a very strange disease. Like, and everybody, I can't tell you how many people I talk to who have like, here's what you should be doing, Andrew. I was like, oh yeah, you've had cancer? No, I'm just saying, but I know that kale will cure your cancer. Or, you know what I mean? The keto diet. Or, oh, I did the Gershon method. I was wearing, had these special sheets that had this, made by these Chinese guys, and they're supposed to bring oxygen to your brain and your body. And all it did was give me seizures, but I stopped using them. Yeah, it just was doing something to the electromagnetic field of my body that it wasn't enjoying. But yeah, I guess my message is, I thought I would come here. I can talk about my music forever.
And we would listen forever, because I think most of us here are music lovers. I love music, all kinds of music.
I mean, I wrote songs about cancer. I wrote the song called "I Love You," and it wasn't about loving your spouse or your brother or sister or your mom or dad or aunt, uncle, grandmother. I guess family covers all that. To learn how to love myself more, and well, that didn't work. So it's like, it's just very complicated. And now they took out my right frontal lobe. Here's an interesting question. The doctors are asking me, have you noticed any changes in your personality? And I reply with, by the way, folks, I have a form of Tourette's because they took out my right frontal lobe. Look it up. I was like, how the fuck would I know if I had any personality changes? How can you have a perception of your personality? How do I know? I said, ask my friends. I mean, would you know if after you had brain surgery, they're like, hey, do you have any personality changes? And I'm like, I don't even know how I would know if I did. How would I know? Seriously.
Yeah, that's a good question. How would you know? I mean, that would be something that people around you would say. You act different now, or you talk different now, or you.
But how would I know if I act different? That's the question I'm asking. It could only be from an outside perception, right? From somebody being with me. I mean, I'm sitting watching a live stream with Sherry and Nave. How would I know if I have a different personality? I don't know.
Right. I mean, maybe the only way you could judge that would be how you react to something before and how you react to the same thing after. That to me seems like that would be the only way you could personally tell for yourself if you're perceiving things differently. That's just my thoughts on it, and I may be totally off, but
right. So give me an example of something that happens that's innocuous that I would react to, that I'd be able to understand. Just a quickie, like what?
Type of TV shows you watch, if you watch TV. Or...
I'm watching like old Seinfeld episodes that I've seen like 8,000 times because I don't have to think about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch TV at all anymore.
So memorized, so I don't have to pay attention to it. So it's just kind of white noise.
Yeah.
And then, well, I'm super into politics when I never was, but I think that might have to do with all that stuff that's going on in America.
Yeah.
I mean, it's reasonable to think somebody who's 60 years not paying attention to politics all of a sudden does. When and by the way, here in Germany, all of Germany is like, yeah, that guy is Hitler. I'm refusing to say his name. I'm not going to say it. And we know what Hitler is because he's ours. And then they spend an hour making fun of him because it's just like the guys.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's so apparent to the Germans, especially to the elders who were born like right after the war, kind of thing. You know, I mean, I don't know anybody who was actually alive during the war, but
I met a lady when I was around 12 or 13. She was a friend of my mother. She was the only survivor in her family from Auschwitz.
Wow.
And I found that out because she took off her long sleeve sweater at the house one night, and I saw a tattoo on her arm, and I freaked. I'd never seen a woman with a tattoo. And I asked her about it, and my mom said, yeah, go ahead and tell her. And she explained that was her number that they tattooed her with when they put her in at Auschwitz. And it was just, that's what started my desire to learn history. And because, I mean, you grew up hearing about, oh yeah, World War I, World War II, Hitler was a bad guy, but you didn't really know anything about it because we weren't there, you know. So once so many generations go by, I mean, there's maybe a handful of people still alive that fought in World War II.
Right.
And they're like up in their upper 90s, 100s, you know. So it's really sad when you think about how it could affect following generations after there's no one left alive who remembers it. It's like, it blows my mind sometimes when I realize I may be talking that a lot of the students that come through our office and stuff, they weren't even born yet when 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait a minute, how could you? It's like, you know, I wasn't even born yet. That happened before I was born. I mean, that makes you feel old, you know, because you're like, oh my God, how can you not have been here? But it's just, there's so many big national things. I remember when the first space shuttle went up in the air. That was a big deal, you know.
Well, and like my friend was teaching, he writes code for Google. He's a high-level professional software engineer. And he had a student just before class outside of the study hall who was humming a Beatles tune. Just under his breath, the kid was just singing. So my friend goes up to me, goes, he's about my age, Adam. Said, what are you singing there? He goes, I have no idea. He goes, that's the Beatles song, like, I Want to Hold Your Hand. You probably heard it in a grocery store or somewhere, right?
Yeah.
The kid just had it in the back of his head. I think he said he was 21 or 20. He goes, oh yeah, that's a Beatles song. And the young fellow was like, who are the Beatles? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And this was already a few years ago, but like he had no idea what, and like he didn't know the song. He just kind of picked it up subliminally or whatever. Like somebody was talking, like music is spirit, and that's why it's so important that we get the music that we love and enjoy. I don't know.
Right here where I live, I mean, the Cajun culture and the Creole culture both pretty much lost their language because there was a phase that the state went through back in the 40s and the 50s of children would get punished if they showed up at school speaking French, Cajun French, or
Right.
Creole French,
Right.
because it was considered a bastardized language. You know, you speak English here. And most of the families didn't speak English at all. They spoke French. And fortunately, it's not like that anymore, but it was because of the music that the language still survived, because you had to know the language in order to sing the music, because
Right.
it didn't make sense if you translated it into English, you know. And so that was a real, and I think that happens with a lot of cultures. It's if you get rid of their music, their culture, their cultural events, things that happen in their culture that everyone kind of knows and understands what it's about, then it helps carry that memory through. But when you do away with certain things, then you lose it, and then it's gone. And it's like,
I mean,
did it even exist?
I mean, I was watching or listening to and watching Irish Granny Helen talk about, there was a point in history where there was somebody fighting that people were actually writing, like print writing, like they were just writing words. And he's like, no, that's like the devil, and you can't write. We're going to lose our sense of memory and storytelling and all of this stuff. I don't know when that was. Maybe somebody knows in the chat, but it's like, well, they fought everything. Like people are fighting AI, people fought the internet, people probably fought TV. In fact, I know they did because it was invented in my lifetime. And they were one of the only.
I remember when the first neighbors in our neighborhood got a color TV.
Yeah, they said everybody would come over to their house. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody went to their house to go see colored TV. That was just unimaginable, you know. And
can you guess? I mean, decade? Like, when are we talking here for you? Like, what decade are we chatting about?
Well, I was born in 61.
Okay,
so I just turned 64. Yeah. I just turned 64.
My mom, this was like the 40s and 50s, that they got a black and white TV, and they really fought it. But the thing is, I bring it up because they used AI to do the brain surgery, because they had to make they had to make a GPS, a virtual reality of the map of my brain, so that the robot could do the surgery or whatever. So.
And it's amazing that they're able to do that kind of stuff. I mean, I work at a university now. I work at the university where I graduated from, but I work in the computer science department.
Right.
Over my head. But the things I have learned just... What? There goes the dog. Hold up.
It's a good omen. Can I use the bathroom while you're yelling at your dogs? Is that okay, everybody?
Yes. Go for it.
I don't know how to.
I'm gonna just go. Don't worry about it.
Just break off for a second. I'll be back, everyone.
Hey, my Cajun cuz, how you doing today? All right. White Spider Woman. Oh, that's cool, Deanne. That's awesome. Yeah, I love Cajun music. I grew up, and my parent, my godfather, played the accordion. And then you also have Creole music, which that's what you basically hear if you're in New Orleans, because they're predominantly Creole there, and you go a little further west and you get more of the Cajun culture. That's where I'm at, because the Creoles and the Cajuns are similar, but they're not the same group of peoples. Their ancestors come from different areas.
Yeah, don't get me started with the music community and their definition of Creole and
Cajun. I mean, some musicians are real funny about how they get promoted, and others are like, I don't care, it's all music. Who gives a crap? So it just depends on the musician, I guess. I know my son never really much thought about it or cared about it until he started working at the club, and there are a couple times a month there's a couple of Cajun and Creole bands that come in and play, and he's just, from listening to it, really listening to it, he's fallen in love with it. So that's why he got a fiddle now, so he can learn to play a fiddle. And
cool.
But yeah, I mean, music touches us in ways that a lot of other things can't. I mean, it can bring up emotions on a pure level that you don't reach without that sound, you know.
Right.
It's, I mean, we weren't big music people when I was growing up, just what you heard on the radio and stuff. But it just always spoke to me. I mean, I love listening to music. I love jazz. I love classical. I love country. I love rock. I love some forms of hip hop. If it depends. I'm still getting used to that one, and it's an old one too. But I mean, my era of music that I listened to all the time, we're talking the 70s,
Right.
you know, the 70s and early 80s. And then I got too busy to really pay attention to it anymore.
I mean, it's crazy, but like,
it wasn't my passion, you know, so.
When I was in high school, and I think I could drive, so I was probably 16. I started my own big band called the Dance Band. And we're talking, whoever was mentioning the big bands was the Dance Band. So we played
big band music.
In the Mood and Tuxedo Junction and Take the A-Train, Basie. And I was getting these amazing gigs for like really posh weddings and super like white people with tuxedos and nice dresses and fancy cocktails.
The rich folks.
I was just like I'm like 16. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be like, you know, $10,000. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it was crazy. I'm paying all my friends so much money to like play these gigs. They were so happy. But it's like, it's an interesting segue, because I think, and for me, I stopped enjoying music at a certain point in my life. I don't know when, but I just stopped enjoying it. It just became a job. I'd go on tour to make my money, and then I'd come home and be like, I don't ever want to play again, like that kind of thing. And it might be touring, because touring is grueling. And I'm supposed to go on the road on Thursday, and we can't find a train, and it's blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to Amsterdam to play a show. I don't even know if I can get there, so we'll see. I guess I could fly, but I don't feel like going to the airport. So
well, and it's part of its burnout, I think. You know, I mean, most of the people I know that do a lot of touring and everything, it's like by the time they get home, they're so burned out from the road that they're like, I don't even want to think about it anymore. You know, they need to walk away and kind of reground themselves. I mean, it's like when music comes to you, whether if it's something you've heard or something you're creating, do you just hear the notes or do you see the notes as well?
Are you asking me particularly?
Yeah. I'm just curious. I've had people tell me both, so I was just curious.
No, this is a great question because to be honest, there was a point in my life where I felt guilty about it, but I've actually written not string orchestra pieces, not full orchestra pieces that I have no idea where they came from, and I didn't necessarily hear them. I saw them in my head, and I went to what we call manuscript paper. Some of your audience will know what that is, and just wrote them down. And people said, well, you need to send us a score, which is like all the music. And I'm like, well, I don't need scores because I can see it. I see what happens in bar 5 or bar 25 or bar 100. Like, I know what's going on there because I wrote it. And wherever it came from, it just came in like a download, like a piece of manuscript paper. And then I just write it down. That's all I'm doing. I'm just like a conduit. And then I attach an energy to it. Right. So I'm like, oh, this is the energy of healing, or this is the energy. One of my songs, Megnem Sa, was written specifically as the pineal gland chakra and to heal that energy. And one of the interesting things about my cancer is it went away. I mean, I was cancer free for fucking 18 years, and then it just came back.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that sucks.
That happens.
Yeah.
And I hope although I've had incredible luck with radiation, and I've been actually feeling great. I've had somnolence.
I think you are. I keep hearing every time you mention it,
Yeah.
I keep hearing he's fine.
Right.
He's fine.
Well, I remember I was watching you after I had the surgery. It was maybe the day after or something, or 2 days. And you were saying, everybody's saying, oh, we hope Andrew's okay. And you're like, he's fine. I was like, yeah, Sherry called.
Told me.
I said, Sherry called it. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, and I asked about
just another brain surgery for old Andrew. That's all that is. No problem.
That's it. I mean, and I asked about music and if you saw the notes or not.
Yeah.
And different people I've talked to over the years, some people are just like, it's just there and I hear it in my head. You know, yeah, I hear it, I feel it. I've had a few people over the years that say they see the
notes. I can see the notes.
It's like they see the notes playing.
Yes, I also hear them playing. Yes.
And I've had a few people that have told me I don't really see notes or anything. I see colors when I hear music, or when music comes to me, I see it in color. And so depending on the color, I know what note is supposed to be playing. And that's always fascinated me, because I mean, I love music. I listen to it a lot, but I've never had music come into my brain. I mean, yeah, I get an earworm every now and again, and I'll hear something and it's damn song plays in my head all day long and I can't get rid of it. But I don't ever it's just something I've always been curious about, because I've known several musicians over the years. It's like, well, how do you process that? You know, how is that? And no two people are the same. Everybody I've ever asked that question to has had a different answer, or a variation of a different answer.
But that's why when, earlier I mentioned that I've done a bunch of master classes, workshops, all that kind of stuff in my life. And when I ask, let's say a college student, music student, like, where does music come from? The problem is that some people do see color, some people see the notes, some people hear and see the notes, like me. I mean, there's all different, like you said, some visual, some people see imagery. I met one Native American, actually healer in Michigan, and she not only saw color, but she would see archetypes, like sacred geometry.
Oh, so wow.
She would see which archetypes and could draw them, or at least she would use Photoshop, whatever, just to create them. And say, this is for, you know, like a circle, like almost like the Target logo, circle with a dot in the middle, but in royal blue. And that's your targeted area of your brain that's been, for lack of a better term, traumatized from the surgery. And she's like, focus on that circle and send the healing. I mean, I swear to you, I worked with another healer in New York who was like, just said, just pull the tumor out. So I was doing this just to pull it out. And as I think Deanne or Carolyn, somebody said, just throw it up to the sun. Don't send it out to somebody else. You grab it.
Right.
And you throw it up. So I was doing everything. I mean, I was doing coffee.
Yeah. And
breathing in ozone. I was getting injections with vitamins and supplements and ozone. And I was doing everything you can imagine. And when it came back, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just doing whatever the doctors tell me to do. Drag about my teeth. I'm sorry if they're gross, but if anybody has any ideas, I don't think this is a crest white strip situation. I think my teeth are something that's going on that I need to medically get looked at. So
yeah, my son has the same issue.
And if it wasn't for Sherry, I wouldn't have looked at myself in the mirror 1,000 times before I did this show. So I
got to look at myself in the mirror every day. So
you're beautiful. Come on, right, everybody? Sherry, you're beautiful. I'm not even blowing smoke up your skirt either. I think I'm pleasant looking, but
especially for an old lady. All right, you got me there. Yeah, I'm an old lady now. That's hard. But, you know, sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, who is this gray-haired woman looking back at me? Because I still think like I'm 20. Wish like hell I could still move like I could when I was 30. But it's like
I wish I could move like I did when I was 40. Like I'm not even. I fuck 20. Like
I know.
Hubba,
I love watching
hubba,
the
hubba.
I love watching the hubba hubba.
What is that?
I love watching the young reactors that listen to my decade of music. You know, these young hip hop kids and whatnot, and they'll get online and do their reaction videos, and they're listening to Blondie, Foreigner, Heart,
Yeah, they're
AC/DC.
all playing music we grew up on.
Yeah, it's like the 70s and 80s are coming back to life again. And to watch them and they'd be like, how come we don't have music like this? Oh my God, this is fabulous. I'm like, yeah, you just weren't born yet. And I've had some of them say, my parents weren't even born yet. What are you talking about? And I think it's just.
I'm randomly on tour and I'm in Copenhagen. And my nephew was going to a music conservatory there called the Rhythmic Conservatory, which I think is actually the greatest name for a music conservatory ever. The Rhythmic Conservatory. It's great. But he takes me to a bar where there's this mixologist that he says you have to go here. And I go to the guy at the bar. This is a young fellow, like 27, 25, something like that. I said, is this the Eagles that you're playing? He goes, yeah, I love the Eagles. I listened to this record when I was like 10.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody liked it then. And I can't believe you're playing it now, but thank you. I mean, it sounded beautiful, but it's weird. There are people.
Yeah, see, my son grew up listening to all of my music, you know, and he would fuss at me and his daddy and be like, turn it down. I'm trying to study. He would fuss at us because we would play it too loud. And because that was our way of doing it back then. And but it's funny now because he'll play something and I'll hear somebody react to a cover he did and they'll be like, who's that? You know, and he'll say, oh yeah, that's from Metallica, or that's from Heart, or that's from, you know, the Beatles, you know, or from Elvis Presley. And you get these people who are like, who's that? The first time somebody looked at me and said, well, who are the Beatles? I was like, I literally, like, my brain just like imploded. I was like, how can you not know who the Beatles are? I mean, come on. But yeah.
Bella, I mean, I'm definitely going to music in my situation too. I hope my comments about my loss of enjoyment of my career weren't, I mean, it is negative, but come on. I mean, who hasn't just been like, I can't do this anymore?
Yeah. Well, we all do that.
Everybody's like, oh my God, you get to go on tour. That must be so fun. I was like, I never get to do anything. We basically fly in, do sound check, shove dinner down us somehow, play a couple of concerts or one, whatever you're doing, go to bed, get up at 4 a.m, and do the whole thing all over again. So yeah, tour is glamorous when it's glamorous, but sometimes it's just a lot of friggin' work.
It's not a hard. I mean, I've known a lot of musicians that do travel, and it's like most of them are like, it's the hardest damn job I've ever had. You know,
well, I challenge anybody to go along with me on tour, like for 6 weeks, and if you're still,
no, I wouldn't survive.
Oh my God, touring is so much fun, you know, and you wouldn't be able to play the concert, so you don't know the energy that takes. But it's just one of those things where the whole music is spiritual. Yes, music is healing. Yes, music is from the spirit and the angels and our guides and the universe loves it. Yes, but then you make it your career, and then at one point I just was like, you know what, I can't. Universe, I can't fucking do this anymore. Not the way I used to when I was a kid. I just can't.
Yeah.
So I got to get another income stream. So I started the podcast, which wasn't as successful as you, but it was really fun. I mean, I did like 183 interviews, and
interesting.
With all my friends, anywhere from some have won the Kennedy Center Genius Grant Award. Some have won many Grammys. Some have been nominated. You know, just all kinds of people who are very well known. Yeah. And what was I talking about? And it held inspiration for me for about a year and a half, whatever I did, where I felt like it was a gig because I'm talking to my friends about tours and like the fun stories, but then it became like, you can't really tell those stories because people don't like to tell them. You know, that time they vomited on tour, they're like, "Oh man, my kids are going to see that. You can't do that." And I was like, "It's funny. Who hasn't been sick on the road? I mean, it's not a big deal, right? Or is it? Am I wrong?"
Yeah.
But
I mean,
name
me one musician that hasn't been on tour that hadn't puked on stage at some point,
or like smashed their guitar, or you know, whatever.
Passed out and fell into the
passed out and
pit.
In and missed the flight. Right? I mean, who hasn't done this stuff?
Exactly.
My fancy.
I like what Spiritual Garden says. Yeah, I love big band music, and there's nothing better than seeing some of these young kids discover Glenn Miller or Benny Goodman, or you know that old. I love like Ella Fitzgerald, Satchmo. You know.
Can I grab Spiritual Garden too when you're done? I'll wait till you're done, but I want to respond to Spiritual Garden as well.
Oh yeah, go ahead and spot. I just put her thing up on the screen so everybody can see it.
So, Spiritual Garden, I have shared the stage with Dave Brubeck. We were on a festival. Where was that? Somewhere in the States, like Chicago Jazz Fest, something like this. And while I didn't play in his band, we opened for him. And after the concert, we got to hang out backstage with the band. And everybody's like, "Don't bring up Take 5. Dave hates talking about that fucking song. Do not bring up Take 5." Which is the only thing you want to ask Dave Brubeck, right? Is like, "Whoa, how'd you come up with that song?" Or like, "What was it like to have a #1 hit record as a, you know, like that kind of stuff." And they're like,
"Yeah,
don't bring it up." I mean,
don't talk about it.
Dave at the time was very old, like Sherry's age. I called him Shelly. Just kidding. He was
ancient.
He was ancient. He was like 80 something and barely playing. And the question I asked him was like, "Why the fuck are you still doing gigs?" Like, I don't get that part. Like, if you're 80, why are you humping to a festival in Chicago, doing sound check, eating dinner with a bunch of minions like me? I was probably 25 or 28. I don't remember the exact age. And everybody's like, money. To me, it's sad that jazz musicians got to work until they're dead. And then one time in an interview, wait, I'm spiritual. Guy, I want to answer, is somebody in a live like this asked me, "What was your first musical live concert and how did it affect you?" And I was like, "I saw the Count Basie Orchestra when Count Basie was still alive." So, I mean, they brought him out in a wheelchair. I was probably 13, maybe 12. And it being the 70s, my parents told me and my friends, "Hey, yeah, you can go to that concert downtown Seattle and see that jazz band." Which, anyway, we got in big trouble and we were causing problems because we were treating it like a rock concert, but it was like, you know, basically like jazz and big band, Basie playing all his hits. But when I was a kid, my dream was to be in the Johnny Carson band with Doc Severinsen.
Doc Severinsen. So I was going to say,
my band director in college, I said, "Hey, could we play with Doc Severinsen?" So they hired Doc Severinsen to come to the school, and he played a week of concerts with us. It was amazing. He was a complete a-hole. I mean, you've never met such a jerk in your life. And he charged the university for a private jet to fly him from LA to Seattle. It was like $25K back then. And, you know, this whole idea is you're supposed to donate your time to the school music program and be nice. And he's like, "Nah, I'm taking a private jet and you're paying for it." And everybody's like, "Ooh." So another thing I'm really into,
that's cool.
Yeah. But again, he was a very difficult man. He was like that. What's that movie? That jazz movie that came out like a few years ago. Everybody talks about it.
Chicago?
No, it's like that super aggressive band director that's making kids cry and music. The guy plays drums. Come on, somebody we know.
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Right. I mean, I think it won an Oscar.
Y'all have to check. I haven't been to the theater since before COVID. That was the last time I went to the theater, and I haven't been back.
The theater being like a movie theater.
The theater, what?
Like a movie theater, or?
Yeah, yeah, like I'd go see a movie or something. I just wait till it comes out on Netflix or Disney or something. I just don't go any.
Yeah, hey, that's a question I was asked the other day. When was the last time you saw a movie in a theater? Like everybody. What was the last movie that you saw
The
in the theater?
Avengers Endgame.
And that was yours?
That was the last movie I saw in the theater. Was the Avengers Endgame, the one that rolled up the 10-year.
I know that one. And was it like your son that convinced you to go, or did you go on your
Oh
own?
no, I was into the Avengers before he was. I've always loved superhero movies. I mean, Batman, Superman,
Sherry's like,
Captain
nah,
America, Wonder Woman.
Sherry's like, nah, man, I went there on my
My
own.
brother gave
I don't
me
know
a
what you're talking about.
doll.
I love that shit.
Yeah, my brother gave me a Wonder Woman doll that's like about a good foot tall almost for Christmas.
So you can make out with her and stuff, right?
And it's still sealed in the box. And I love superhero movies because the good guy always wins in the end, no matter how bad it gets, how horrible things are, whatever, good still wins out in the end. And it just makes me feel good. And so I love to watch superhero movies. I mean, I started out watching Wonder Woman on TV as a kid, with Linda Carter, who, bless her soul, is still alive and kicking and more gorgeous than ever. And I've always loved that stuff. It's just, that's like my when I fantasize about, what kind of world would I want to be in, it's like, I want to live in Wakanda. They got every damn thing.
Wait, are you calling me an ass? Spiritual garden? Come on. I'm vulgar, and I just had major brain surgery, and it's my right frontal lobe. So it's very hard for me to filter myself. I apologize. I said something rude, and that just happens. I apologize. So one thing I want to tell.
What?
No, it's just you asked something earlier, and one thing I've noticed is I really, really have to think about things before I say them because they just come out very wrong.
Oh, I'm very good at putting foot in mouth before I engage my brain.
Right, but the thing is that there's really there's really nothing I can do about it except for regain control. So I have this visualization. So when I have a thought, wherever that thought is, and then I want to say it, I have to have a moment where I think about it. I don't know where, in the back of my head, and pick the right words for it to come out. And sometimes I can't do that. It just comes out. So I apologize, but please, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. And I'm in Germany. I mean, I live in Europe at this point. Sometimes being on a national platform does not so funny things to people. An ass is an ass, no matter how well known they are. Oh, I'm sorry you think that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she's talking about you specifically or just some of the people you were talking about.
No. Whiplash.
I mean,
yes.
I've met.
Talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Whiplash with Mike Teller and J.K. Simmons.
You never saw that?
No, I don't remember seeing that one. What was that about? What was that movie about?
It was about a jazz band. Okay, so that wasn't about.
I can Google it.
It's about a jazz band director. Wow. I didn't know somebody was going to call me an a-hole. Oh, Doc Severinsen. Oh, she's talking about Doc. Doc was a
Doc Severs. Yeah.
asshole, man. That guy was now that somebody else has said it. Yes. Whiplash. I don't know if it's worth your time to watch it, but for jazz music, like when I was in high school and junior high in Seattle, Eckstein and Roosevelt High School, jazz band was a friggin' class. Like that, you got credit for going to jazz band, which I think is just incredibly cool, but maybe it's not.
Yeah, I know. My husband used to talk about when he was a teenager. He lived in Mississippi, southern Mississippi, and he and a couple of his buddies drove over to Mobile one weeknight to buy tickets for some big concert that was coming up back in the day before there was no online or anything like that.
Right,
you had to show up.
Go and buy
you had to go to the theater and buy the actual ticket. Yeah. And so they had gone to go buy tickets, and while they were doing that, they're talking to the ticket master guy, and my husband says, well, is anybody playing here tonight that we could go watch? And
right.
And they were like, oh, the only person playing here tonight is over on the colored end of town, at a little jazz place, and it was I want to say Fats Domino, but I don't think that's right.
Well, that would have. Well, he was still alive for quite a while, right? I don't remember when.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Fats Domino. I don't know. Anyway, so he decided he wanted to go. His buddies didn't want to go, so he said, "Okay, well, y'all, go do your thing, and I'm gonna go to this concert." And so when he walked in the door with his ticket, he was the only white dude in the whole place.
Right.
It was all black people there, and so he just kind of stood there for a minute, and he thought. And we're talking, this was mid 60s, late 60s.
Still alive in the
and because he was 6 years older than me. He was born in the 50s. And so he saw one opening, a little table off on the side, and there was this older gentleman sitting there, but nobody else was with him. And so he walked over and he asked him, would you share your table with me? Could I sit with you? Right. And the old guy was like, yeah, sure, have a seat, And so it comes on, and they're playing, and it was like an acoustic set. They were just jamming on the stage.
Sure.
No, just hanging out.
They were just jamming, kind of thing.
They were just jamming because evidently he knew the owner of the club, and whenever he came through town, he would stop and go in and play. Right. And he said he's sitting there, and all of a sudden he sees this old man reach into his vest pocket. Of course, everybody's dressed to the nines, Pulls out this little silver flask. He takes a swig, and then he comes down and he looks at my husband. He's like, and he passed him the flask. And I was like, he took a sip, passed it back. He said they shared that flask all night long. He wasn't, and of course, he wasn't old enough to drink it. How he got in the club, he didn't know. But he was like, and I was the only white dude there. He said, but it was the best concert I've ever been to in my entire life. And he went to a lot of concerts, but he was like, hands down, that was the best concert I've ever attended. He said it was just so relaxed and just listening to them just jam.
Right.
Not trying to impress anybody, not trying to make a bunch of money. They were just playing because they like to play.
Right. And I
came across. Yeah.
I think that ties into my conundrum with enjoying music, is it just became about money. And when I got nominated for the Grammy, I thought, finally something like this has happened in my life. I've worked my entire career for this. And it just didn't change anything, except for now I have like a little sewn on patch on my clothes. I've been nominated for a Grammy, but it's not like my phone is ringing out the hook. Hey, you want to come play? And so I think that part of it got frustrating. Like, it was pretty obvious, especially my friends who were either new parents. Believe it or not, at my age, I had two people who were new parents at 50 and 55, one of them. And then their whole motivation for touring just changed. Like, they didn't hang out. They went right back to the hotel room. They just wanted their paycheck and get back home to the wife and kid, in this case.
Yeah.
So for me, because touring was always about the party for me. But then, mean, I can't do that now. So
Yeah, it just, and yeah, I guess, and of course nowadays, especially with a lot of your bigger stars, it's this whole entourage of, hundreds of people that travel with them as they go from, place to place. I think like Taylor Swift or something. It's like, I enjoy her music. She's really good. She writes beautiful songs, but I would not go stand in a theater outside somewhere for 10 hours to get to see her perform. Like if I want to watch her perform, I got a TV, I can turn it on and watch her perform. It's not like it was back in the day. Now, when my friend Julian plays at the club downtown where my son works, because he'll tell me, oh, hey, Julian's going to be playing next Saturday night or something.
Right.
I will cancel the slumber party and say, sorry, y'all, I'm going to a concert.
I
go hang out because, I can sit and relax, and then there's no pressure, and I can just watch them play. And I love it, And so when I can do that, I do that. But it's like I'm not into the.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, I wasn't real ouch.
Oh, he knocked something down.
It was a environmental ouch. Like that should have hurt. Ouch. Letting my mom know that.
But we have the hallway leading to the back bedrooms where my brother and my nephew live. Right. We have like a half board, like a shelf size board across the floor to kind of control where the animals go. And he tried to hop over the board and he didn't quite hop high enough and hit it, knocked it down, which knocked something else over. So, it's a maze to get through my house. So we're all crammed in here together. But yeah, I mean, I love to listen to all kinds of music. And
right.
And just, it's I find it, depending on, I know sometimes people will ask me what kind of music do I listen to, and I said, well, it depends on what I'm doing. If I want to go to sleep, then I'm listening to some kind of soft jazz or bluesy jazz or something, because it relaxes me and it makes me comfortable. And if I'm like cleaning house, then I've got rock and roll on, because that gets my blood pumping and I'm up and moving with what's happening.
That's absolutely a great question. Since you asked the one about, is it visual for me or otherwise, whatever, as far as music goes, like people say I listen to music and go to sleep. The drag is, maybe because I'm a musician or not, like I cannot not listen to music. So if it's on, I need to be paying attention to it, which is why notifications in the background are hard for me, because I listen to it and it triggers something in me. But it's like I can't not. Okay, I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to say I can't. I generally don't just have music rolling and be able to tune it out. For some reason, it's just maybe because I'm a musician for 40 years, or some other reason. But if there's music going on, I'm paying attention to it. And if it's bad music, then it annoys me, and I pay attention to it, but I got to shut this off. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
now,
that reminds me of my son, because
I got to take my seizure medication, so everybody's going to wait.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
It's 8 p.m. My phone. I told you I do the alarm just like you.
Yeah, that's it. It's take my medicine on time.
It goes off all day. Huh.
Bye, Katie, and drive careful. Thanks for coming in. Hi, everybody. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with us today.
Is everybody leaving?
A couple of people had to leave. They were they had places they had to go.
Rick, do people want to hear me play a song or something? Like,
Yes. Everybody's asking, are you going to play us a few?
Cool thing to do, right?
Play us a tune or a few scales or something. So
A tune or a few scales. Okay.
that's what they put. A song would be nice, whatever you want to play. I mean, I understand about not hearing music and not having to listen to it, because I see that with my son. If there's music playing, it's like radar for him. And
right. So he has the same thing. By the way, I have my radiation mask. They give it to you when you're done. This is what you have to wear getting brain cancer radiation.
Yeah.
And they strap your head
wow.
to a metal table with these bolts and everything. And so it's really tight and you cannot move for the entire time. And it's very
They would have to sedate me.
Clean, though. They did a good job of cleaning it. But.
They would have to sedate me for that. I can't even go in an MRI machine without sedation, because
I got
I'm
sedation.
so claustrophobic.
Right. I got sedation the first 2 times, and then they were like, these Germans, we are not giving you that medication. You will get used to it, and then you will become addicted. And so they took me off. Mine was Ativan, by the way.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but it was so great because it was very easy to do the treatments. But they took me off. So I just smoked pot. Whatever.
That works, too.
That works. And I love how the doctors are like, oh, my goodness, you smoke marijuana? I was like, have you people not caught up with the world? Like cancer treatment and marijuana go friggin' hand in hand, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, with a lot of things. Same with pain management. Same with other disease. That's how I got through my pregnancy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I would get bad morning sickness in the afternoon. I didn't get it in the morning. I'd get it in the afternoon. But
really,
2 puffs and it was gone. Right. And so I wouldn't have made it without it. So,
yeah, I mean, it's just like at a certain point, I think there was a part of me. There's a part of me that, I mean, in my work, I like to talk about, because I can see auric fields, I can see chakras, people's chakras, I can see energy. My work is mostly DNA based, and so a lot of my friends call me DNA. But I don't know. It's like one of those things where I think the energy that's created by different things, like, so in other words, somebody says, drop some frankincense oil on your pineal gland, it'll help. Can you imagine what like having laser beams shot at your brain are doing? I mean, if frankincense oil helps, which it may or may not, I don't know. Or I'm wearing an amethyst and a necklace.
I got my amethyst on today too.
Right, we're together. Believe it or not, this is actually pissed off. Tourmaline is not, some people, it doesn't do them well. They don't like it. So maybe a white spider might have an input on that unless they have to.
Yeah, I got some tourmaline here.
So what do you mean? What do you mean song? Like, what's a song for you people? Like, I don't really play covers. One of the things I'm
play something you wrote.
One of the things I'm experiencing. I mean, you want me to go?
Yay! wonderful.
I wrote that.
Deanne says, that's what I heard.
Are you serious? Who said that?
Deanne.
Yeah. Listen, Deanne, thank you. You know what I did, Deanne? People did like the saxophone. Well, finally, Sherry, stop talking. Listen, I'm not being rude. I love Sherry. I'm like your guys' biggest fans. Nobody should be giving me grief. I'm like out here like watching everyone.
Hey, I fall asleep on these people and they still show back up the next show. It's like, I don't understand it at all. I'm like, the first time I fell asleep on camera, I was so mortified. I was afraid to come back on again. And everybody just thought it was a big joke. So now if I get droopy and I start to doze off a little bit, I'll kind of come back and I'll look and there'll be 10 people in the chat saying, Sherry, it's time to go to bed.
Right.
Call in tonight. We'll come back tomorrow. I'll be like, okay.
I mean, now that I could fall asleep to is somebody actually falling asleep. But as far as music, I'm glad you guys like something. But I literally wrote that for your energy that's what I do. This is what I do. And it wasn't crying. Yeah. I just think Sherry, like, there's something about Sherry. Somebody mentioned, finally a musician in the tarot community. Listen, the tarot community is wonderful, but Sherry's been one of the few who are like, hey, come on my show. I'll talk to you. So thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I say that to everybody. I mean, when I first started, if it hadn't been for those people who reached out.
I mean, I can pull somebody wants me to.
I mean, there was people that reached out and invited me on their channels back in the beginning. I was petrified and didn't know what I was doing.
I know the feeling.
It's paying it forward. I mean, somebody new comes along, somebody comes across my feed, somebody does something a little different. Yeah, come on, let's talk about it. Let's share it with everybody. I got an animal communicator coming on next weekend. So
cool.
She talks to animals, our very own Dr. Doolittle. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Hoping she can tell me.
Crazy. Is that the same woman who went on Nate's show?
Nate? Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, and then he let me know. He says, yeah, you need to call her.
Yeah, that's cool.
Get her to come on. So I did.
That's what I call sharing and caring right there. That's what I'm talking about.
And it's like yesterday I had on a woman who makes these fantastic candles, handmade candles.
Cool.
This one's called the Sea Witch. And it's all natural. It's made from palm and soy waxes.
Okay.
No chemicals, no fake crap in there. Just it is what it is. It smells wonderfully. She was a client of Arthur's, and Arthur contacted me. He says, she's starting up her shop again and blah, blah, blah. And I think that maybe she would really enjoy coming on with you and let her show off her stuff. So that's what we did yesterday. Right. She came on yesterday and we showed off her stuff. So, and had a ball doing it. And so, yeah, it's, I enjoy when I come across people just starting out. I see somebody.
My horn is from 1932. Kind of cool, right? Vintage. I had it rebuilt, so it's like an old sports car rebuilt. But
oh yeah,
I think it's beautiful.
That's nice.
It is very ancient. So I'm kind of.
I have to show my son that picture. He's probably gonna have a fit.
100-year-old saxophone.
Yeah, and oh, thank you, Harley. That's sweet.
What?
Okay, what is night owls? I started doing a late night Saturday night thing. It started out as just a once in a blue moon kind of. I was awake and I went on air and thought, I wonder if anybody else is awake. And after doing it several times, everybody said you need to do this every Saturday night. So we all have a standing date every Saturday night at 10 o'clock Central.
Right.
The Night Owl Slumber Party.
Yeah, I know
I
that.
said, well, if we're going to do it, I said, y'all got to name it. So that's where the name for the show came from, was the chat. Everybody suggesting. And then I just went, I mixed and matched until it felt right. And that's what we do. And some nights I'm solo, and some nights I drag somebody on with me. And
Right.
sometimes I get people that email me a couple of days before and say, can I come on the slumber party with you? And I'm like, sure.
Cool.
So,
no, I know that for me, your slumber party's at like 4 or 5 a.m. So it's sometimes,
early morning.
believe it or not, I am up at that time, but it's like, if I'm getting up at 5 a.m., that's one thing. But if I've been up all night at 5 a.m., that's a whole other story. I went to a concert. And
Exactly.
out and home. And then, oh, Sherry's slumber party. And that I like to check out. But as far as like joining, I have to be prepared. But Irish Granny was going to have me on at 4 a.m. last night, and something happened, so we got postponed. But I'm really trying to connect with her, because she's really been a very, very beautiful. I wouldn't have found you without Helen, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's how I met you.
And I think one of the things about people, look, I'll tell you something right now, everybody. Nobody really responds to my cancer. Talk to your friends with cancer, which is kind of what I've been experiencing. Everybody's like, one of the things I'll say is that I've talked more to Helen and Sherry at this point than I have fucking my friends. So it feels good to at least be able to share about my health. I mean, I could talk about my music career forever, and maybe, I don't know, maybe tomorrow you'll show one of my records and be like, here's who I talked to yesterday. I don't make candles, but I make music. And that industry disappeared.
And music is forever.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think it matters how old we get or how much technology changes. There's always going to be music, because my belief is music comes from the soul. So,
my grandma on my mom's side had to go into a memory care facility. This is just to protect my mouthpiece from the elements. So anyway, I go for her, like, I don't know, 97th birthday in Nebraska at the old folks home. And we're talking like Better Call Saul kind of thing. That kind of old folks, Midwest, Nebraska, like, you go there to die. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's pretty obvious why people are there, right? And so they were like, do you want to give your grandma a birthday concert in the dining hall, which was, I'm like, sure. So I started playing, I don't remember maybe somebody don't know. Does anybody know what the song is?
I know that song, but I can't.
Dr. Zhivago, right?
I think so. I can hear the whole song playing through my head, and I can't see the name
but I
of
don't
it.
remember your freaking name. Dr. Zhivago. And anyway, Somewhere My Love. Anyway, so I start to play that in the Better Call Saul, like, home for elderly people in Nebraska. And my grandma and a bunch of women with dementia and Alzheimer's, whatever, start singing the whole song with me. It was like a play along, sing along, but apparently they're all like demented and they need to be there. But somehow with the music, I remember the staff told me afterwards, like, that woman, they pointed to this woman, I don't know, she was like over there. She hasn't spoken to us in like 3 years since she moved in here. That's the first time we've heard anything out of her. She kind of just does sign language, like, I want my food, I want my pill, whatever. So music is powerful. Somebody mentioned that. Some Women Love, there will be songs to sing, yeah.
Yes, Dr. Zhivago, Somewhere My Love. Yep.
Right? I love that song.
Yeah.
Reid, Julie Christie, and Dr. Zhivago. Wow, Celtic's here. You got that I don't know, maybe you looked it up, but thank you. Oh,
Yeah, some of these guys are really good at Google at the Google machine, man. They get
I'm the one who's supposed to remember. I'm the one playing it, but I was like, I just know my grandpa had like one of those organs and like a, what do you call the ones where you pump your feet? I can't remember.
yeah, I know. Years and years and years ago, there was a group of us used to travel around at Christmas time. It was like 5 of us in the group, and we would go to the nursing homes and just sing Christmas carols.
Right, and then
And
somehow
one,
they remember the lyrics, right? Somehow.
well, yeah, one year we went. One of the girls just had a baby, so she, was bringing her baby with us, and I brought my son with me. He was 13, 12, 13, right around that age. And another one of the ladies, her daughter was like the same age. And so they decided they were going to be Mary and Joseph with the baby Jesus, even though baby Jesus was a girl. And so they're like in costume and they show up with us and we're doing songs. And the response from these older people, oh my God. One, there were people that they hadn't heard speak or even acknowledged that they knew anyone was there for years, that suddenly just came to life, singing along and looking. And then when they saw the baby, oh my God, that baby got passed around to every senior citizen in that dining room that day. They all had to hold her and just, and they were very careful and very gentle, and they would just hold her and they would coo at her and smooch on her, and then they'd pass her on to the next one. And this child went around the room a couple of times.
Without crying or freaking out or anything, like it was like total like cool, everybody cool. It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it was just a fluky thing, it was last minute. We had been invited to come sing, and then last minute, both my son and one of the lady's daughters, same age, they were both available, and they decided they wanted to come with us. And then another one of the girls just had a baby who was like about 6 months old, and they were like, "Oh, let's just be Mary and Joseph, and we'll have the baby since they're singing Christmas music." It's like, yeah, that's cool. And and it was just kind of very last minute thrown together, and we showed up and they're like doing a little mime thing of being Mary and Joseph with the baby. And of course, while we were singing, the music was playing, they were all just singing along. I mean, you could see the attendants and the nurses were just like floored because they had people there that had no response with anyone for God knows how long. And then suddenly they were singing out loud, and swaying in their chairs and really enjoying themselves. And then as we were finishing up, I don't think they realized the baby that the kids were holding was a real baby. I think they thought it was a doll until she started to cry because she was getting uncomfortable. And when they heard her cry, it was like a light switch went off. And they were all like, they had to see the baby, bring me the baby. And that baby went around the room at least 2 times, maybe 3, with all of these men and women, all of them. They just had to hold her just for a minute or something.
Yeah, just something
and
like get a little of good vibes and healing, right? I mean, just something nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was just remarkable to see the response, because it wasn't planned. We just kind of did it, and the nurses were just like, oh my God, I wish. A lot of it was a state nursing home, so it was poor people that were there, or people that their families just dumped there because they didn't want to spend the money, and or they didn't have any family left. So these were forgotten people that stuck in this nursing home, and nobody came to see them. Nobody ever visited with them, or rarely. And it was just so sad. And it was like, that's why we decided to go sing there. We thought, well, they're bound to like Christmas music too. It was just something on a whim. And one of the girls called and asked if we could come over and sing. And the director said, sure, they'd probably love that, because nobody comes to see them, and it was a really remarkable day. It was very special. And
I mean, this kind of goes to what I was kind of trying to present earlier about, if a friend of yours or family member, whoever, has cancer, I don't think you understand world, Earth. I'm not talking to anybody here. I'm talking to Earth. I'm talking to humanity. I don't think you understand how fucking lonely it is. I mean, this show with Sherry, when she asked me to come on, we worked it out for Sunday. I mean, I've been thinking about what I was going to wear. I was thinking about when I was going to shower. I was thinking about when I was going to get up. I've been thinking, no, I'm serious. Don't laugh at me. It's just like,
yeah, no, I'm not. I do the same thing. So don't feel bad.
Fucking 4 a.m. to hang out with Helen. And she's like, I can't do it. It's too late. She, something with her husband. It's okay. I'm not complaining. But then I was like, now I got to reorganize all of my planning to go to bed, to get up so I can hang out with Sherry. Although I felt like I looked better last night, but it is what it is.
You're gorgeous, just the way you are.
In this, but my point isn't about me. My point is in general. I don't think people know how freaking lonely dying is. I'm not saying that I'm dying from brain cancer. We're all dying. But I'm like over here.
It's very lonely. I mean,
I'm looking at videos about brain cancer treatment and about chemotherapy and about radiation and what to expect, right? It's just like, oh my God, did somebody come over with like a apple pie or I don't know, like some chicken or something, just to be like, yo, what's up? You cool, man? No, I'm not cool. I'm cool. Although I think my teeth are falling out or at least staying like crazy. But my brain is cool. I'm pretty good cognitively, although I expect a review from you, Sherry, at the end, like how you think I did. But I think I'm doing okay. I don't think I'm insane. Well, I always was insane, even when I was a kid. So that part I don't care. But I think I'm doing okay. But who's going to tell you?
mm-hmm.
The doctor's like, of course, well, we expect you to recover fully. Like, that's what they tell me. Yeah, of course, there's no problem with you. This is how we wanted to, and we're sure it's going to happen. I mean, come on, man. You're not even going to give me like an attaboy. Like, your dog does something good. You're like, oh, good boy, right?
Good boy, yeah.
Yeah, just a little kind of, now they're like, nah, this is what we expect you to be. Of course, we are doing a fantastic job and you're doing okay, right? That's what they say. So God bless them.
Well, I would have to say that after watching my grandmother go through cancer and then dying from it, and then watching and taking care of my mom for 10 years with dementia before she passed. And I think a lot of
10 years. Wow.
Yeah, it was 10 years. It's I think a lot of people don't call, don't show up, don't come over because A, they don't understand what's going on, so it kind of scares them.
Yeah, fair enough.
B, they're not sure what to do or say because they don't want to make the person more upset. Because in their mind, they're upset.
I got to speak up because I confronted my friends like, how come you guys aren't like coming over and calling me? Like, because you never want us there. You're always yelling at us to leave. And I was like, oh, right. So some of that is on me. Some of that
some of it's on you, but nobody it's like if I just show up or if I just call, am I waking them up? Am I disturbing them? Are they in the middle of doing something? I think
and that's what I'm trying to say is as a cancer patient, it doesn't matter, even if it's forced attention. Like if somebody called me at 4 a.m, like they did a few nights ago, I was like, hey, what's up, dude? I was like, it's 4 a.m. I got to get up for radiation treatment. They're like, oh, sorry. And then we talked for an hour and a half. And at first I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, you know what? That was really nice. It was really nice. It was a friend in New York, and we just chatted for an hour and a half. I don't know what it was. And
I think that's why COVID was so hard for so many people because we were isolated from each other,
woo-hoo.
And
woo-hoo. I mean,
I think a lot of people found out what it felt like to be isolated.
Right.
It's,
I think most people, especially in first world countries, I mean, they don't know what to do if they're not at their job. They don't know what to do. I mean, your chat and your people here are amazing. They're all like, oh, we're doing spiritual things. Almost a lot of them seem like they play some kind of instrument, and that's cool. But I think a lot of people, they don't have anything. They don't have a hobby. They go to their job, they come home, they go to their job, they come home. I'm not saying they're not nice people or intelligent, or
they're just
there's just a mechanical way. When I was doing radiation, I had to get up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. every day and go to my treatments. It took into the hospital, out of the hospital. It's an hour away and an hour back, and then the treatment and chatting it up and going to doctors and like, how are you doing? That kind of thing. It's 4 hours. It's half my day. And by the time you get home, like you got to start thinking about tomorrow. I got to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. It's 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. I go to bed. So I just wondered, how do people do a job? I've never had a job. I literally only
I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. I work 10 hours a day. Yeah, I get up at 5. I go to work. I'm there at 7:30-ish.
Wow.
I work 10 hours. I come home.
Right.
I do this most nights. And then I go to bed, and I get up in the morning at 5 a.m. I go to work. And then Friday and Saturday nights are the 2 nights of the week I can sit up late, and everything else is just whatever, I think COVID did that for a lot of people. It helped us kind of break out of that spiral we were in,
Yeah, and Deanne is saying, Andrew, what's lonely is losing my brother to cancer from Iraq burn pit. Yeah, sorry, you got me there. I'm sorry, Deanne. I'm glad you're here now.
No, I get it. I lost a couple of
Listen,
friends and family from Agent Orange from Vietnam. So
listen, I don't know how to respond to you, Deanne, because I haven't had that experience with a family member, so I'm very sorry. And I'm not trying to. One thing that I keep getting, like with people who've had cancer, is like, oh, your cancer is not as bad as mine. You know what? I'm not being competitive. I'm not trying to say, oh, poor. One of the things I wanted to do when I had brain cancer this time, like, you know what? I'm not playing the poor me shit. I'm not starting a fundraiser. I'm not going to go on Facebook and beg people to help me. I was like, I can do this, and I'm doing it. I'm doing a very good job of it. And I love you all for being so kind. And thank you to Sherry. Thank you to my angels and guides for bringing Sherry and Nave and Helen into my life. It's been life altering for me. And I know it's helped me that those 3, 4 a.m. mornings where I can't sleep because I'm like, fuck, what's going to happen? And then I go to the mirror and I'm looking at my hair and my head. I'm like, what's going to happen? Ooh, that's kind of cool. That's like a half cut. I think I'm gonna do it. Just shave off this side that's where the surgery was, and then just leave half my head kind of hanging out. What do you think? No,
works for me.
Get a laugh from you. Okay, I mean, might as well have fun with it, right?
There you go.
In times of madness. Well, that's what I'm doing with Sherry right now. I love you too, Deanne. Thank you. Oh, it's less lonely with you in the world. Oh my God. Thank you. You too. But I
got some great people in this community. We really do.
I want to be clear, just in case somebody does like a replay thing. I'm not complaining that I'm lonely. I'm just saying that I'm not sure people really understand how much a tiny little gesture matters. Like at one point, my younger brother just bebopped me like $1,000. Like he just sent me $1,000, just like, I know you're going through a lot here. I can't be there at the moment. Just get what you need. So then I ate out for like a week, right? Which is fine. But like that was a very convoluted gesture because he just literally, transferred me $1,000 to be nice and didn't tell me beforehand, didn't really talk to me after. He was just like, here, just go take care of you. That's nice, right? So it's little. I mean, you could send somebody $50, or like order them DoorDash.
$5 would make or break somebody.
Order them DoorDash. One time, my friend had cancer. I ordered her. She loves burger and fries and a vanilla shake, and she's not supposed to have it. And I was like, you know what? I don't really care if she's supposed to have it. So I DoorDashed a burger and fries and a vanilla milkshake from her favorite place, and she was so happy. But she had to call me. She goes, there's somebody at my door with some food delivery. What is this? I said, I sent it to you. Accept it. So that's fun. Wow, what have you got going on over there? It's like I don't know. Stuff happening.
Oh, it's everybody doing their stuff, and it's. I have a house full of people. Me, my son, my brother, his son, 2 dogs, a cat, and a lizard, all living here together.
Ooh, spirits travel and fast through instruments. I personally think
that thought.
this community doesn't judge. Oh, thank you. Illness as metaphor, Susan Sontag. Okay, facing difficult reality is very isolating. Yeah, that's what it's isolating. It's not lonely. It's isolating.
Isolating.
And looks like Gordy.
You can a room full of people and be lonely, and
right.
You know.
I mean, I have played concerts where there were 19 to 20,000 people in the audience, and that can feel lonely too. You don't know anybody, and you're like talking to the abyss. I mean, or playing music to like this vast, like.
Yep.
It's funny. It's funny how people like to make requests, but people. I am just not built to play cover songs. It's like you heard me play In the Mood. It's just not who this guy is. But somebody said when Irish eyes are smiling, and it's been 2 hours. Can I play a little bit of this, and then we blow steam?
Spiritual Garden is saying, yeah, because I'm gonna have to wrap it up because I got another thing to do myself. Spiritual Garden.
Hey. Hey. Yeah, that's about as good as I can do an Irish.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely beautiful.
Whoever. Yeah. Wait, Harley just wrote, yep, 100%. You can be surrounded by tons of people. Yes, sir. And be lonely. Yes, sir. And then be in the presence of one. Yes. Harley, I don't know if you're a sir or not. You're golden. Meaning, like, if the right person hangs out with you, you're okay. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say, oh, woe is me, I'm so alone. What I'm trying to say is sometimes, just hanging out with like some cool people can do it, even if it's one person. Yeah. All right. So do you want to blow? I don't know. Is there anything you need from me?
No, not a thing. If you want to play us out, and I'll just go ahead and end the stream. I've got to get ready for. I got to go finish doing my laundry and get ready for another show.
Right. Are you still doing private readings? You are, right?
Yes. Yes. Just email.
I highly recommend it. Kind of why I'm here now, because Sherry was kind enough to say yes to me. Well, same with Helen. You know who I also really enjoy is Nate. He's cool, right?
He's a sweetheart. Absolutely.
I mean, there's not a mean bone in that body, man. I don't think that guardian angel has like anything to say about anybody that's negative. I mean, he's just so.
No, not at all. Not at all. We do 2 shows together a month, once on his channel, once on mine. And we both have a ball with it. So, another wonderful person I met through the wonder of the internet. In 2 different countries at that, far away from my own. So, go figure. But I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us today. This was just a hangout session so Andrew could hang out for a while with some friends and just smile and be happy. And that was the whole point. And you're welcome. All right, guys. Y'all have a good
have a good night.
Good week.
Day. Yeah, have a good week.